Hi, in today's video we'll talk a bit about variables. Let's get started. Before we start, you need to know that Python executes commands one by one. So if I have one command, like print A, then it's gonna print A. But if we have two of them, print A and B, they will be executed in order of from top to the bottom, like you can see here. First is A, second is B. So we write program from top to the bottom. Now we can talk about variables. So a variable is a part of code where you can store some data. We can create one. So we create variable but by typing its name. For example, var equals to. With the equal sign we assign some value to the variable, and here has to be value. For example, text ABC, and now we can print var, and notice that here I type var without apostrophes, so not like this, like this, and it will display ABC, because if I will do it like this, it's going to print var. Now I would like to talk a bit about naming variables. So it definitely cannot contain space. For example, we can't do that. As you can see, there's an error. We can't run this code. But you can use underscore instead. Now it will work if I would type this name here. You can see ABC. And also you can see that I used numbers here. You can use numbers in the variables, in the name of variable, but it can't be on the start of the word, so like we can't do that. Again, you can see an error here. Also try to avoid some fancy characters, like, let's say I'm in Poland, so some Polish characters. It will work in this case, but it's not good. Like, it's a bit of a programming war crime, so don't do that. And finally, you can name with uppercase characters. Try to avoid naming it all uppercase, like this, but with one bigger character you can name it. Also, it's a way, instead of a space or underscore, to separate words, like word 1, word 2. And the last tip is, don't name it after some Python functions. Like, you will get know this later on, but there's an if word in Python instruction, and it won't work in this case. And there are a few of them, and you can't use them. And also, it's again not necessary, but try to name variables so that you can know what they are doing later on. If you, for example, left the code for some time and come back, so you can know what was where. Like naming it just A, it won't be good because later on you won't know what does it mean A. Now another important thing is that there are many types of variables. Right now we are using one type, which is text, but there are way more things you can store in variable than text. So the text variable, as we have here, is named professionally string, and there are more types like integer and bool, float, list, and we will talk about them in a second. So integer is also a very common type of variable, and it stores numbers. So now if I print A, we can see 1 here, because we have a 1 in A. And notice that now it's an integer variable, and now it's a string variable. And we use them in different ways, like you will later see why this is important. This is not the same as just 1. Although if we print the string a string number, you can see that there is no visible difference. It's just different. And now we have also a boolean, which is one of two values, true or false. It's used to some logic to make some decisions in code. We will also use it a lot later. It can be true or false. And we can also set it as 1 for true and 0 for false. Now next we have a float, which is similar to integer, but we have a decimal extension here. Like now it's integer and now it's float. Or now you can see that we have dot and some other numbers. Notice that here we don't use comma, like in Europe, we use dot. And the last type I want to talk about, because there is a lot of them and I can't tell you about each type in the single video. So the last type is list, which is personally my favorite type, and it can contain some other data, like a list of data. You can see I have a bunch of integer numbers here. If we print that, you can see it looks basically the same as here. But we can access this data by in print. Instead of a full variable, we can, if it's list, print only one of these, like 0. So this is index 0, this is 1, 2 and 3. So on position 0 is 1, and if we print that, it's also 1. And the best part is, in the list there don't have to be the same types. Like I can add a string here and it will work. You can see there's no error, it works perfectly fine. And things start to get crazy if we add a list to a list. It also works and it has a lot of potential. I use it a lot, like every day. But we will talk about it later. So I hope you understood everything I showed you in this video, because it's very important to understand these things. As if you had any trouble with understanding what I showed you today, please write a comment and I will reply as fast as possible. And that's all I had for you today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And in the next video, we are finally going to do something exciting. We will do some operations with this data in Virables. So stay tuned. Bye.